lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Barbara not Barbara Jean's heart. With a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you. I myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat.
I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. Hey everybody, welcome to Ranting with Ricardo. We are here to talk about what them soaps. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to hit the notification bell after you hit the subscription button, because once you hit the notification bell, you will be kept up to date about all the great things that go on over here on this channel. And then remember to check that description box down below. If Drew can run for Congress and GH can get political and they can talk to y'all about voting, then we'll talk about voting in this current climate that we are in, okay? I want y'all to click those links down below, vote.gov, vote.org. Make sure you are registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, register to vote. And if you don't know if you can, vote, check to see if that is possible. Remember, you do have to be 18 to vote, and you have to be 18 before the election happens, okay? Now, if you turn 18 right before the election, as in, September, and right before the cutoff date in October, then go ahead and register to vote. Also, keep up to date about all the great things that, are happening around in your city, your town, your county, your parish, who's being nominated and who's on the ballots for those little elections. Remember, it's not just a primary you have to vote in, you have to vote in the little elections. The people who are going to be over your school board, who are going to be the judges, who take prosecutors, the board of education, who is going to represent you in the city council, all these things, all these people, all these jobs. You have to be well informed on who's on those ballots, what are they running on. Like, I used to have the words for it, but what are the topics that they're running on, what's supposed to be on the ballot, what's not on the ballot. Keep up to date with all that. Make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure you know when you're supposed to go vote. Make sure you know when you're supposed to go perform your civic duty, because guess what? If it wasn't important, if your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to take your voting rights away. So go ahead and click that link, click both links, and also take a look at the other links in the description box down below. And with that being said, let's get into them soaps. Okay, now Sonny is trying to gather up as many people as he can to testify on his behalf if it comes down to him and Ava going to war over custody for Avery. So he done hit up Michael. He done invited Michael to the penthouse. Diane is there. And, pleasantries are had. And Michael is wondering, why am I here? Because him and Sonny been beefed out for months. And Sonny reveals to him, listen, I filed for sole custody of Avery because Ava had been behind the audio recording of Natalia. Y'all know the phobe. And he also explained that Ava had targeted Christina to get at him. And Mike was like, but that don't excuse what she said. And Sonny's like, she been trying to make things right. Well, Ava has only caused misery. And you know what? Michael agrees. But he has to remind him that, hey, Avery loved her mama. You must be reminded. And I feel like people also have to remind Ava that Avery loves her father. But we're going to see, because this is about to get what? Messy, okay? So Sonny is arguing on Avery's behalf, and that in the long run, without Ava in her life, she'll be fine. And Michael's like, you know what? As much as I don't want to agree, you might be right. You might be right. And it's just like, well, I mean, ultimately, Ava's kind of love and Ava's type of vitriol that she had towards Kiki had her pillow talking with Ryan. Now, how was she supposed to know Ryan was going to go unalive her daughter? Because she thought she was pillow talking with Kevin. But ultimately, I mean, that's what happened. You sat up here and pillow talked your way through with this man, and he went after your daughter as a way to just be like, oh my God, I want you to be better. I want you to be happy. And Michael is glad Sonny finally tossed Ava out, but he doesn't understand why he had let Ava move in the first place. And, Sonny becomes defensive and he reminds Michael that he had been trying to help Ava because obviously she's Avery's mother. And Diane cuts in. She was like, you know what? It's important to point out that Ava had once sabotaged Morgan's bipolar medication. So if she could do that to Morgan, imagine what she could do to Avery. Now, here's the thing about it. We know as the public that she has, by way of what Valentine did, helped sabotage Sonny's medication. They don't know that yet, but it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So Michael brings up that, hey, if Diane brought up the fact that Ava had tampered with Morgan's medication, then it would open up a door to for Scott to introduce Sonny and Morgan's rocky relationship at the time. But Diane's very confident that she can handle all of this because of Ava and Morgan's relationship and Ava's role in his onset bipolar disease. Sonny's frustrated and he's asking Michael if he testify about his upbringing and the kind of father he was. And Michael admitted that, he might not make the best character witness because of their public confrontations, that's been happening. And Diane's like, listen, it won't be a problem. And Michael has to remind Diane, hey, Scott might reveal that Carly had sent Morgan to military school for Morgan's safety after, Michael had been pew-pewed in the head, okay? Which was a bullet meant for Sonny. These are all things coming up, and Sonny is he resents the reminder, but it's just like, ultimately, had you saved Michael and not Kate at the time, Michael wouldn't have lost that much time, okay? And Sonny is getting upset. He's getting irate. And he's like, oh, Michael's trying to get out of testifying. Michael's like, no, I'm not trying to get out of testifying. I'm just like, these are logical things. And I have to agree with Michael. These are logical things to bring up. These are the type of things that will be brought up in the long run because, hey, they happen. They happen. And we just got to, keep on trucking. Keep on rolling. Rolling. Okay? It's some messy stuff. It's some messy stuff now. Very messy. So Michael's denying it. Sonny's getting angry. Diane is like, okay, listen. This hostile behavior is too much. And Sonny is insisting that Michael was only a good son when Michael needed something, but the rest of the time, Michael treated Sonny like he, needed to be scraped off the bottom of Michael's shoes. And Michael warned Diane that it would be a mistake to call him to the witness stand because Sonny was not the same father that Michael had grew up with. Why? Because no one knows that Sonny is off that medication but Ava. And after Michael left, Sonny is apologizing. No, he's not. He's unapologetic. He claims that his family was his business. And, Diane agrees. But she has to remind Sonny that abusing a witness who had wanted to help is not going to be the best way to go about things. And he was like, oh, Michael, I denounced Michael. I disowned him for turning against me. But Diane's like, he's trying to help. And Diane is explaining that, hey, your behavior is becoming more erratic, aggressive, and self-defeating. And you need to pull yourself together. Or I can help you. Okay? I get it together, or I can convince a family court or judge or anything else that you're responsible enough, loving, and dependable enough to have Avery full time. So Ava and Scott, they're brainstorming about her defense in family court. And Scott has to remind her that, hey, you're going to need some character witnesses. But Ava's like, I don't need them because Sonny's a mob boss. And Scott asked Ava if she had proof of that. So she acknowledged that she didn't. Okay, you can't prove nothing. But she insisted that, she and Sonny both had shady past, which meant, even playing field, which Scott agrees. Like, yes, it's an even playing field, but you still need character witnesses. Like, Diane's going to find people to testify on his behalf and vilify you. You're going to need somebody to testify for you. And she admits that he was right. She admits that. She admits it. Scott suggests, call Alexis to the stand. as a witness, and Ava has to say no because she believes Alexis wouldn't do anything to help her. And he asked about Nina, and that's a big fat no because Nina's not going to do anything to help her. Okay, and Scott asked if there was anyone that Ava hadn't offended lately, and she revealed that Laura would testify on her behalf. And Scott's pleased because Laura would make a good character witness. But here's the problem with that situation: when Laura figures out that you're manipulating her, it's going to be a problem. Scott's telling her you need more names. And she's like, well, I don't have that many allies, and Sunny has fewer. And she's confident that Trina would make a good character witness. But Scott had to point out that, hey, Trina's an employee. And Ava's like, but she's effective. We're good friends. We've been there for each other. I defended her against Esme. These are all the things that, I've defended her. We're good friends. This is not a problem. But he keeps saying, like, you need more people in your corner. So Ava's like, Sunny's not invincible. And then she confesses that she has fake Jagger on her side and he might help, and that he's sympathetic to her cause. And, they had grown close. And Scott asked if Ava and John had been intimate, which she assured him that they were not lovers. And he tells her, you better make sure it stays that way until after the custody hearing, which Ava agrees. And she suggests Dex Heller might testify because Sonny and Dex had an altercation, which Christina had witnessed. And, Scott seems very skeptical that Christina would testify against her father, but Ava was, truly confident that Christina would be truthful under oath if Scott subpoenaed Christina. And Scott and Ava also discussed calling Jocelyn as a witness because Jocelyn despises Sonny. But Ava's like, nah, that Jocelyn is Carly's daughter and she's an entitled brat. And Ava's like, well, we should add Carly to the witness list. And Scott is like, why would you think Carly would testify against Sonny? And Ava's like, well, Carly's his ex-wife and she's the mother of two of the children, Donna and Morgan. And Scott has to remind her, don't bring up Morgan. Don't bring up Morgan, which Ava brushes off because, oh yeah, Carly sent him to military school to keep Morgan safe from Sonny. But Scott reminded that was ancient history. And then Ava shares that Carly no longer allowed Donna to spend a night with Sonny because of his erratic behavior, and she told Scott about Carly confronting Sonny and checking his bipolar medication. However, Ava was very confident that Sonny would be their strongest witness. And he's like, why do you think that? And she's like, does attorney-client privilege apply? And he assured her that it does, as long as she didn't tell him something she intended to commit a crime. And she says, oh, one of Sonny's medications have been replaced with a placebo. And Scott is like, did you have anything to do with it? She denies it. And she insists that she had only discovered the switch and had no idea who had been responsible. She admitted that she had seen the results of Sonny being medicated. And it ain't pretty. And Scott is realizing what her plan is. She's hoping to get at Sonny on the stand and push his buttons, that he'll blow up, and boom, she has full custody. And it's just like, Scott, do the right thing. Because if they find out that you knew about the medication and you let this happen, you too are going to face some big problems. So way down to the Quartermain boathouse in Brooklyn is thanking Blaze and Christina for meeting her there. And she explains that it's the only place they can talk uninterrupted without all the kids around. And Christina mentions the tips they got from Nina about handling the press. And Brooklyn reveals that, hey, Perez Hilton agreed to do the interview with Blaze and Christina, and they're delighted. And they learn that they're delighted until it's like, oh yeah, Perez does not want to stick to only asking questions about Blaze and Christina that they had submitted. And Brooklyn is like, listen, once a guest dictates what the questions are going to be asked, it moves from being an interview to a press release. And Christina is very uneasy about this because, listen, we had rules. the guardrails were on. And Blaze is like, let's just cancel the interview. And Brooklyn is like, listen, he not gonna do anything that he doesn't have an agenda, so he's not gonna do anything to cause any issues. Let's just do the interview, get it under the way, and do it just like that. But they're very like, I don't know if I want to relinquish control over this interview because it could be a problem. But Brooklyn's like, listen, I can do this. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help y'all prepare for the interview, and they agreed to try. And Christina says she's not discussing the surrogacy because that is Molly's story to tell. And Brooklyn is very supportive and told Blaze and Christina to keep the heads up, take the time with the questions. They went through a mock interview, and Christina is answering the questions really well. And she answers questions about the Corinthos Davis Center for the LGBTQ plus youth, and like she's knocking it out of the park. Then we get to Natalia's homophobic remarks. And Christina admits it was hard to hear because Christina and Blaze's privacy had been violated by someone they knew and trusted. Now down to Bobby's. Carly and the manager Hunter, they're discussing hiring more staff, but Carly is like very distracted because she's watching Jason and Danny. And then at a nearby table, Danny and Jason are together, and Danny's really excited that Sam agreed to let him hang out with Jason, and he asked Jason how he managed to convince Sam to do so, and Jason was like, I just asked. And Jason is reassuring like Danny that Sam just wants what's best for you. She just wants what's best for you, which is like the opposite because Sam is like very much giving vitriol, spewing hate. And it's just like this entire time, every single time we see Danny and Jason together, it's your mother wants what's best for you. Your mother wants what's best for you. And if I'm not what's best for you, then I understand what she's saying. So it's just like you see the complete opposite things that are happening. And Sam is constantly have to hold herself back from just being like, your daddy didn't care about you enough to stick around them last 2 years and he did it all for Carly. Like she's really having a tough time not saying it. Because she feels a way that Jason didn't stick around for her. Just being honest, just being real. And then he's like, what's best? He's very upset. He's very upset. And he's like, what's best? So she's kept Danny away from Jason. She took Danny's phone. And Danny's like, okay, listen, I'm looking forward to my trips on the speedboat to Toronto Island. And can we camp out overnight? And he's like, listen, I told your mama you would be home at 10 o'clock. And we're going to get you home at 10 o'clock. So Carly comes over and she was like, I heard about, y'all plans. And I have some sandwiches for their short excursion. Moments later, here comes fake Jagger. And he's talking about Mr. Morgan, a word. And Jason's like, listen, I'm not going to be able to do it. I have plans with my son. And he's like, not anymore. Send your son home. And it's just like, seriously? So Carly starts to object. But Jason asks her to drive Danny home. And he promises to call Danny and reschedule their outing. After they go upstairs to the apartment, Danny asks Carly if they had, if you have any idea that what they had been about, and she reminds Danny that Jason could take care of himself. Okay, so they get to the apartment, and here goes fake Jagger complaining about not complaining that he had nothing to show for the assignment because Valentine had managed to slip away, and somebody tipped Valentine off. And he was like, listen, I didn't do nothing. I don't have an incentive to do anything. I don't have no incentive to help Valentine. I just want to be free. Okay? And here goes fake Jagger. You're going to continue to work for me. You're going to continue to work for me, or you're going to be on a Quantico bus. You're going to continue to work for me. You're going to be on a Quantico on a bus, and you'll be given a new identity and shipped off to a federal prison to infiltrate a drug arm. What? And he's like, wait a minute. I agreed to work for Pikeman. Okay, identify leadership, provide you with the proof, give you the evidence, then we done. I gave you the satellite phone and all that. it's just like, that's not my fault that you couldn't make it stick. That's not my fault that Valentine is slippery. Okay, use what I gave you to make it stick. And here goes Fake Jagger. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. And he's like, listen, the people versus Carly Spencer is ironclad, which is not. It's truly not. But okay. And he's like, listen, if you don't do what I want, she's going to be put on a bus and bound for Pentonville. And if Jason refused to get on the bus to Quantico, he drops a bus ticket and a file on Jason's new assignment on the table. And Jason ignores it. And he tells him, well, you can only stay in Port Charles if you turn over proof of Sonny's crimes. And Jason's like, what if I don't have it? And here, Fake Jagger is very upset. Why do you continue to protect him? He's left a trail of broken lives behind, starting with my wife and my brother. Sonny has to pay. And he's screaming all this and he's screaming all that. And this is when Jason realizes that this has never been about Pikeman. Pikeman had been an excuse. He only picked Jason up and he recognized Jason from their time in high school together to finally use Jason against Sonny. And it's just like, at the end of the goddamn day, your brother had sex with someone who was doing drugs. Needles. She was taking drugs via needles and sharing needles, dirty needles. That is how he got HIV. And it ended up progressing to AIDS. But we're not going to act like Sonny didn't try to protect and help Stone as much as he possibly could, because that's what he was doing. He was helping Stone. We're not gonna act like you actually gave a damn about your brother. Because when he was dying, you only visited him once. When it came to his funeral, you didn't show up. Who paid for his headstone? Sonny. Who paid for him to get buried? Sonny. Who paid for his care? Sonny. Who was looking for every option to keep him alive? Sonny. Sonny, by no way, is a good man or, without reproach, but we're not going to act like you gave a damn about your brother. And when it came down to your wife, she was your ex-wife. Hear me when I say this. Ex, wife, W-I-F-E. Ex-wife. Okay, y'all were not married by the time she passed away. And Sonny had nothing to do with her passing away. Now, if y'all want to retcon like y'all did Port Charles when it came to the vampires and all that stuff, she could be alive somewhere hiding from your ass. Who thought? And, Jason realized the true purpose was to take Sonny down. Fake Jagger's not denying it. And he's like to Jason, you know where all the bodies are buried, literally. And you have enough information to put Sonny away until the end of time. So either you give it to me or you get on the bus. And it's just like, who the fuck are you talking to? At the end of the day, you can get that ass beat. Okay, nobody's scared of you, Mr. I'm so sick of him. So sick of him. So in Anna's office, Laura had stopped by to ask if Anna had talked to Valentine. And Anna was surprised that Fake Jagger had gone to Laura's house looking for Valentine, and Laura shared that she had tried to call both Valentine and Charlotte, but their cell phones were, not in service. And she admitted that she's grown concerned when her emails had been bounced back and all of Charlotte's social media had been erased. And she claimed I ain't spoke to Valentine. So Laura asked Anna if she knew why the FBI was looking for Valentine. But, Anna kept her secrets, and she suggested, Laura might not know. She suggested to Laura that she might have known that Valentine as well as they thought they did. But, at least Laura took comfort that Charlotte was with her pappy. So, there's that. And Anna reminds Laura that Charlotte was resourceful. So if she wanted to talk to Laura, she would. And Laura's crying because all of her children are out of her reach, and now Charlotte has vanished, and she's just going through the woe is me. When is Lucky coming back? It can't come sooner. Lucky come back. Nicholas gets out of jail. Lulu wakes up, and then eventually we find Charlotte and be done with this, because I can't deal with Laura and her crying tears. So after they get done with that conversation, Anna is in her office crying. A short time later, Carly comes barging into Anna's office, and she demands to know if Anna had been helping, Fake Jagger go after Sonny. And Anna's like, go ask him. since you're friends with him. But she like, I'm not friends with him. And she repeated the question. And it's like, I can divulge that type of information about an ongoing investigation or confirm that there is one. And Anna's like, what's going on? And she feels, in on an encounter between John and Jason earlier at Bobby's, aka Fake Jagger. I refuse to call that man John. I don't know him. I don't know him. And it's like, oh, maybe he wanted to debrief Jason, but it was like, something else is going on. And it's like, he's definitely gunning for Sonny ever since he came to town. And she's just like, Carly's like, Fake Jagger might feel like it's his turn to take Sonny down, and he's wasting his time because there's no way in hell Jason is going to flip on Sonny. I don't care what he threatens him with. And here go Anna, don't do anything rash, don't do anything crazy. And Carly like, you must not know me. And Anna is like, I'm not fooled. And Anna for sure is like, Carly gonna either confront this man or do something reckless to help Jason without having any information about what's actually happening or what Jason intended to do. And Carly's like, what's your point? And Anna's like, you know what? I understand your impulse, but please hold off. Please, until I get to the bottom of things. And, Carly has decided that she shouldn't have involved Anna because it was for Carly and Jason to fix themselves. And before Anna could stop her, Carly left. Anna get a phone call. At the end of the day, you should have known not to try to stop Carly when she is on a mission. You're trying to take down the father of her children. You have kept her best friend for 2 years, and now you're playing with everybody's lives at this point, all because you want to take down Sonny. Oh, baby, we're not about to do this. Now, when is that marriage of convenience for Dante and Sam gonna happen? Because I'm waiting. Because as soon as that happens, that's when Lulu's gonna wake up. Who are we gonna get to play Lulu? Are we getting original Lulu? Are we getting the Lulu who went into the coma, or are we gonna get a new actress? But with that being said, that was it. That was all I had more to give y'all. Please click those links in the description box down below, vote.gov and vote.org, so you can be informed about your voting rights. If you are able to vote, if you're registered to vote, if you're not registered to vote, go ahead and register if it's possible, and keep informed about everything that's on the ballot and who's running for every election, little elections and big elections. Keep clicking those links so you can be informed about what's going on in your state, your town, your county, your parish, your city. Whatever election is happening, you need to be up to date and out there voting, because if voting wasn't so important, and if you voting wasn't so important, they wouldn't be trying to take your rights away. Keep up to date, click those links, keep informed, get out there, vote at all the elections, okay? They gonna be voting for, Drew for Congress. We got to vote some good people in, to help us in all areas: Board of Education, the criminal justice system, city employees, all these things. And don't forget to hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell so you can be informed about all the great things going on over here. And with that being said, I'll see y'all later. Bye.